Good morning and welcome to the vlog. Spent all of yesterday here in Loughborough because the weather forecast said it was going to be shocking with pretty torrential rain all day. In fact, that turned out to be completely not true. The day was pretty much lovely and would have been fine for cruising. We got about one 5-minute shower, but never mind. We'll press on today instead when it actually said it was going to be okay and probably looks like it is going to rain. The idea is that over the next couple of days we should make our way to the end of the River Soar, where it joins the much larger, wider, deeper River Trent, turn left on the Trent, and after a short distance you end up going onto the Trent and Mersey Canal. That's the plan for the next couple of days. Should be a short hop today, just to Kegworth. A push off from the bank, and despite something of a breeze in the air, a good chug forward in Alan's wake. North is our compass bearing, if we actually bothered with compasses. To a lock, inevitably, and it's a team effort on gates and paddles. Up ahead, the next lock, but also a water point. I didn't need this. Now I've got used to my boat, I seem to have at least 3 weeks' water per fill-up, but Alan needed a stop. That'll take about half an hour, so as it's dry, I'm doing some rather bodged blacking touch-ups where paint's been scraped off the side of my boat. This could hardly be more classic British, could it? A lock cottage, Union flag, and even a standard issue postbox in the garden. With Alan's water tank full, it's our turn for the lock, helped by another boater. Alan's gone in first, as you can see, and I'll slide gently alongside him. Then onwards. It's not the prettiest countryside or the best skies, but it's not raining, so that's decent enough. That's the spire of the church at Normanton-on-Soar, where we may well stop for a bit of lunch. First of all, though, more terror on the waterways, but with the light firmly off, all fear should be gone. I found these houses quite curious. They're not like fully brick-built homes, they look more like holiday chalets, albeit on a decent scale. I presume people own or rent them out as holiday lets for a nice time river watching. There are some others a bit further on that are more like large sheds or beach huts, I suppose, but on a river. That one even has a boathouse. But if it's a riverside home you're after, then this kind of thing is really the dog's danglies. Substantial house, classic look, own mooring, nice garden. It too has a boathouse, of course. Time for lunch, and what could be nicer than a pub with a mooring? Nothing really, hence our stop at the Plough in Normanton. We arrived just before it got manically busy on a bank holiday Monday. After a couple of baskets of chips with ketchup and a sandwich, we moved on. Plenty of space to pass oncoming traffic. That is one of the joys of a river. Plenty of narrowboats to gongoozle too as we passed. These are all on moorings run by the Soar Boat Club, it seems. To your left, part of the flood emergency scheme run here. That wooden fence, for want of a better term, is a place to tie up your boat if downstream is too fast flowing and the water too high for it to be safe to proceed. Round a corner, and not one, not two, but 3 weir bridges, taking the river off to one side while boats plunge through onto a canal section for a while. No let up to the locks though, and we had to pause here for a bit of traffic. It's really odd how you can be in the middle of nowhere and see almost no other boats, then you come to a lock and it's as busy as the M25 in rush hour. Rejoining the river now, and a useful warning from Alan to keep away from these nasty rocks. We are pretty much in the middle of nowhere here, although the A6 road is still accompanying us behind the trees on the left. Oh, and if you're wondering, Max and Monty are still having a fine old time on the towpath. Now, some maintenance matters. Ever since I did that weed hatch tape a few days ago, I've been checking on it intermittently, and I'm very pleased to say it's holding absolutely fine. There's not a drop of water coming through, touch wood. so it seems that that will hold until such time as I can give it a proper derusting and sorting out, so I'm quite pleased about that. You'd think all this Armco would mean lots of mooring here, an unexpected treat on the river, but Alan assures me he tried it once and it's all shallow along there, so you can't get in properly. Rather frustrating. Lots of private mooring on the other side though. This is East Midlands Boat Services, quite the mix of craft, including some that I would genuinely call houseboats, a term that is often wrongly applied to narrowboats. Lots of fiberglass river cruisers here as well, and just as I was going by, I heard a distant hail from one of them, a chap called Graham. He's not only a viewer of my vlogs, but he's even bought 2 Cruising the Cut mugs, available now from my store, link in the video description. That was a lovely and entirely unexpected moment. So funny to see him brandishing my mug at me. Cheers, Graham, and partner Wendy. Coming up on the left here, the kind of wide beam I'd probably buy if I wanted a wide beam. A real boaty sort of boat. I love this, I want to peek inside it. There's just a tiny bit more river to go until we reach our mooring point for tonight. It's just beyond this rather fabulous mansion house, which I think I'd quite like, except that we're right underneath the flight path for East Midlands Airport here. It's just over a mile to the left, so you get the planes coming into land directly overhead. That said, it's not a terribly busy airport, so it's not too bad. Here we are, this will do nicely, quite quiet and remote apart from those aircraft. Good morning. It is an absolutely beautiful day, if somewhat chilly in the wind. Today we plan to firstly stop for some fuel just round the corner and then set off for, well, the end of the Soar, onto the Trent, to Shardlow and Sawley. I can't remember which of those comes first. I think it's Sawley followed by Shardlow. Anyway, we'll find out. Conditions could hardly be better, and despite the low-flying aircraft, I slept well overnight. A few more weirs no longer hold fears. And almost immediately after leaving, we're pulling up for a lock, though this one comes with its own rather scary warning. This is the kind of sign you usually see about motorbike crashes on dangerous roads. Here's a bit of history though, as this lock replaced an older one which is still alongside and buried in the grass. Even the old ladder's still on the concrete edge, and you can see the wooden lock gates in situ as well. Meanwhile, back in the new lock, this is one of the risers you're advised to wrap a rope around to stop your boat banging about when the water's coming in. We didn't, because each boat would hold the other steady, but with the water out you can really see why there's a warning about that sill. It's monstrously big. You would not want your boat catching on that as it descends. As we leave, another quick glimpse of where the buried lock used to take boats through. The next one's a flood lock, so usually open unless the river's swollen. And then more chances to take a holiday by the water if an actual boat is not your thing. We started this vlog with Alan taking on water, and now there's a fuel stop too at Kegworth Marine. Be warned, they take cash only here, no cards, so thanks to Alan for loaning me the funds to top up my own tank. But it's a good price, 63p a litre. You'll pay way more than that elsewhere. As we depart, something people either consider a blot on the landscape or a piece of industrial art, and rather to my own surprise, I'm inclined to go with the latter. Ratcliffe Power Station looms on the horizon, and I like it. We'll see it better in a minute. Some moored craft to tick over past first though. Oh, and if you want your boat painted, there's someone who offers that here. That's a better view. I think it's rather majestic. Coal-fired, it'll be shut down in a few years, I believe, because of emissions. Look to the left if power stations aren't your idea of beauty, and it's grass and trees all the way, with the odd pylon peeking overhead en route to its fill of megawatts. It is certainly very pretty on a day like today. What's this? A wide beam actually moving? So often they're just static homes, so it's actually nice to see one in motion. And he shouted a helpful warning about another craft coming through the small gap up ahead. Righty-ho, this is Ratcliffe Lock, which, like its earlier counterpart at Kegworth, is a replacement of an earlier one, and it too is still here, sunken in the grass. There's the old concrete sides that guided you into the lock. And yes, the old gates too. Even the collar which holds up the gate hinges is still in evidence. No idea whose welly that is, mind you. We wait on the lock landing for another boat to come through and read yet another warning sign about impending doom. What will become of us? Find out in the next vlog.